Hello, everyone. Today we'll study sitting down poses. Why sitting down poses specifically? Well, that was because I planned to draw Genshin Impact fan art with three characters sitting down on a sofa. And then I thought, why don't I make a video about it? So here it is. So the first thing I did was going through Pinterest and pick several photos for reference. Now we'll start with the first reference, which also the easiest one. I started with tracing the reference and split the body into different shapes, starting with the shape of his head. And then continue with his neck. A lot of people just draw the necks as straight lines that connects to the shoulder, but there's actually trapezius muscle there that starts from the base of the neck, which then connects to the shoulders. And then just draw the line across the shoulder, which also helped me determine where the clavicle is. And with that line, I drew a shape of his torso based on the way he's sitting. I made sure to show where the waist is. And since the model is sitting down, the length of the waist is shorter than if they were standing straight. Also, some people may split the torso into two parts, the chest and then the stomach, but I just connect them together like this. Now, I draw the base of his thigh or where his thigh would start. And then I made the shape of his thigh and continue with the knee. And connect the knees to his lower leg. I drew the shape for his ankle, then his feet. Also, starting from this point, my OBS is starting to have difficulty recording, so the footage ended up looking more and more like a slideshow as we go. And then I made the shape for the upper arm, and the forearm overlaps with each other as a guide to where the elbow is. Now I'm drawing a circle for where the joint would be. Sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't. Then I drew the shape for the palm and the fingers. Don't draw each individual fingers at this stage. You'll do that on the next stage when you draw the details. So at this point, you just draw it as big shapes, and except maybe for the thumb. Now I'm just connecting the shoulders and proceed to draw shapes for the other arm. As you can see on the other arm, I didn't do the overlap thing because I can clearly see the line where the forearm starts, so I just draw according to it. Now, for the other leg, I made the shape of that thigh a little bit longer than the other one because the knee is facing away to the side, thus showing more of the side of the leg. While the other leg had its knees facing more towards the camera, thus making the thighs look shorter. And this is called foreshortening. Now I'm just doing the rest of the lower legs and the feet. Now for the feet, you see right here, I'm drawing triangle for the hip foot and square for the forefoot. I feel that this is an easier way to draw feet, for me at least. Okay, now that's done. I'm going to do it again, but this time without tracing the reference. Now that the base for its anatomy is done, it's time to add details into it. Okay, now that the drawing for the first reference is done, let's do the next one. One thing I want to point out, as you can see, I deleted the body and drew it again because I realized as I was about to draw it that the forearm on his legs that connects to his face would look way off if I continued, and I feel that the mistake started from his shoulders and torso. So I decided to delete his body and redo it, but this time I started from his forearm first after I drew his torso instead of his legs. You'll start to see when there's something off with your drawing. The more you draw, so the more experience you have with drawing from reference, you'll start to see mistakes that you made along the way. Okay, so now for this third reference, I just started drawing the shape without tracing it. Because as you practice more, you should be able to do it straight away just by looking at the reference without tracing it. And you see right here, the leg is closer to us than the rest of the body, so I'm drawing it first. I saw somewhere, although I forgot where, but I think it was on Instagram, and this guy was explaining that when you draw foreshortening drawings, you should draw the thing closest to you or the camera. This way it's easier to determine the size of the rest of the body. So that's what I'm doing here. So I'm drawing the leg first and then I go further back to the rest of the body. And now I'm just adding the details. Now these are all the finished drawings. I was going to include the bottom two drawings, but when I checked the recording, it was more like a slideshow. I think it's probably problem with my OBS setting. I'll be sure to fix it. Hopefully it can be fixed because I have a potato computer, so I hope I can fix it without needing to buy a whole new computer. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching and see you on the next one.